This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(6:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, assisted by Nilusha Jayamanna and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Prime Minister examines the progress of rural housing projects. The Treasury Secretary says no loss has occurred when importing sugar. Remaining 22 volumes of the Easter Sunday Presidential Report sent to the Attorney General. Public opinion will be obtained on the new national trade policy. News overseas, AstraZeneca further cuts European Union vaccine supply target. Sports, sailing, Team New Zealand storm back to level America's Cup at 2-2. Local news in detail. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has examined the progress of rural housing projects. He made inquiries today in this regard during the progress review meeting of the State Ministry of Rural Housing, Construction and Building Material Promotion. State Minister Indika Anuruddha explained the program implemented by his ministry under the theme A House for Everyone and Sustainable Construction Industry. The Prime Minister also paid his attention on the projects in the building construction sector and their progress. Work on 6,745 rural houses has been completed last year under the theme A House for You and a Future for the Country. Another 14,022 houses are to be completed this year under the Rural Housing Project. Constructions on 1,917 houses have already begun. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa also reviewed the progress of the housing project implemented on behalf of the parents of the Buddhist monks. The officials informed that constructions of 50 of those houses have commenced. Treasury Secretary S.R. Artigala has rejected allegations in media reports that a loss of 15.9 billion rupees has occurred when importing sugar. He told a media briefing in Colombo today there is no truth in these reports. He disclosed that 6 companies import sugar to the country. The Treasury Secretary said that taxes can be changed as needed by the government. The country needs 55,000 metric tons of sugar monthly. He said 60,000 metric tons of sugar are imported monthly. The President's Legal Affairs Director General Harigupta Rohandira said remaining 22 volumes of the report compiled by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, which investigated the 2019 Easter Sunday terror attacks, were handed over to the Attorney General today. Last month, the Presidential Commission had handed over 87 volumes containing its proceedings to the President's Secretary. Only 65 volumes were received by the Attorney General and the remaining 22 were withheld, citing the sensitive nature of evidence pertaining to national security. His coordinating officer, State Counsel Nishara Jayaratne, recently noted that all evidence recorded by the Presidential Commission must be studied by the Attorney General before serving indictments against all those who were responsible for the bombings. Trade Minister Bandula Gunawardena said obtaining public comments and opinions on the new national trade policy will take place in the next few weeks. He said so at the Ministerial Consultative Committee on Trade Affairs held recently at the Parliament. Further, he added that an expert committee has been appointed to formulate the national trade policy and a separate area in the BMICH premises has been set aside for these expert committee meetings. The minister informed the committee that cooperative policy will be formulated to address the shortcomings in the cooperative sector expeditiously. It was also discussed at the meeting that corruption and irregularities are common in the Lanka Sadhusa and that this situation could be changed by computerizing all the outlets. The committee also discussed the need for an investigation at the ministry level to look into these allegations of corruption and irregularities. The minister said that when purchasing goods for Lanka Satusa, it is done only through manufacturers and direct importers, and that methodology has been successful at present. It was revealed at the committee meeting that requests have been made to open 57 new Satusa outlets, and these outlets will be stabilised expeditiously. Paligudi Fish Market Complex was vested with the public today after renovations. Mr. Basil Radapaksha attended the event as the chief guest. Speaking on the occasion, he said that Sri Lanka is leading among the countries that control the spread of COVID-19. He pointed out that steps taken by the health and security authorities, led by the government and the president, contributed to the success. Minister Sarath Weerasekara says that there is no space for forest destruction under the administration of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. He said that an extensive program has been launched to prevent forest destruction. Minister Dalasala Happeruma has held discussions with the Maldivian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka about the development of the electricity sector based on climate factors of the country. He has said that Sri Lanka has paid attention on renewable energy sources at present. The Maldivian High Commissioner said that he was happy to know that Sri Lanka provides electricity all 24 hours of the day. An island-wide program to educate motorcyclists on wearing helmets will commence. It will be implemented by the National Council on Road Safety together with Consumer Services Authority. The inauguration ceremony will be held with the attendance of Minister Gamini Lokuge and State Minister Lasantha Alagivanna on Monday at the Golface Green in Colombo. JVP Politburo member, former MP Sunil Handunnethi, has filed a fundamental rights petition with the Supreme Court seeking legal action against the alleged sugar scam. He said that reducing the tax levied on sugar imports to 25 cents had caused the government a loss of 15.9 billion rupees. He alleged that the import tax on sugar had been slashed with the intention of providing relief to several businessmen. There have been recent reports on social media platforms of a Sri Lanka flag non-slip doormat, which is being advertised for online purchasers on the Amazon website. Foreign Secretary Admiral Professor Jayanath Kolambage has informed the Sri Lanka Embassy in Beijing to contact the manufacturer concerned in China, and also has brought it to the attention of the Chinese Embassy in Colombo. The Foreign Ministry said Sri Lanka Embassy in Washington, D.C. has also been instructed to follow up on the matter with the advertising platform Amazon. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a home loan now with attractive interest rates only from People's Home Loan.
Over 4,500 students of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka sat for the corporate strategic level exams recently, which were conducted in 4 main cities in the country as well as overseas. The corporate and strategic level exams, which were conducted as a physical exam in February and March, concluded successfully in Colombo, Kandy, Galle and Jaffna. Colombo was identified as the exam centre with the highest number of candidates, recording over 3,600 students. CA Sri Lanka also conducted the corporate and strategic level online exams for the benefit of students who are currently working in the Maldives, Qatar and in the United Arab Emirates. The highest number of exam candidates overseas was recorded from the Maldives, followed by Qatar. The final certificate examination of Dhamma schools will be held tomorrow and the day after at 853 examination centres. 122,100 have applied to sit for the examination. The Commissioner General of Examinations said that admission cards have been posted to the candidates. He said the admission cards can be downloaded by accessing www.slexams.com. That's www.slexams.com website, and inserting the national identity card number if a candidate has not received the admission card. That ends local news for now, and the main news story follows.
Pay the interest on your own home without paying rent for someone else's. Get a home loan now with attractive interest rates only from People's Home Loan. Enjoy the option of paying only the interest for the first 5 years.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The 7th edition of the Sri Lanka Medical Association Guidelines and Information on Vaccines was launched recently. This is the 7th edition of a series of books on vaccines published by the Sri Lanka Medical Association. The objective of this book is to educate and update healthcare professionals on vaccines and vaccinology. It gives precise and up-to-date information based on current scientific evidence. It includes chapters on all vaccines available in Sri Lanka. It has chapters discussing immunization of special groups such as the elderly, sports persons, and in pregnancy. It also covers topics relevant to vaccines such as adverse events following immunization and storage and transport of vaccines. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight this evening, people in the area say that police post, which was at Moratua railway station, should be brought back to its premises. They said the police post is needed to keep away inconveniences to the commuters and the station. They request the relevant authorities to bring back the police post to its earlier location at the Moratua railway station. This is for the attention of the police and the railway authorities. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news. AstraZeneca further cuts European Union vaccine supply target. Turkey plans to host Afghan peace talks in April. Harvard dropout rockets into mega billionaires club. World news in detail. AstraZeneca has cut its supply forecast of COVID-19 vaccine to the European Union in the first quarter to about 30 million doses, a third of its contractual obligation, and a 25% drop from pledges made last month. The shortfall is a further blow to EU's vaccination plans, already being hampered by repeated delays in supply and a slow rollout in some nations. The AstraZeneca document shared with the EU officials shows that the company now expects to deliver 30.1 million doses by the end of March and another 20 million in April. Turkey plans to host Afghanistan peace talks in Istanbul in April, Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu said today. And Ankara will appoint an Afghanistan special envoy. Çavuşoğlu's comments come after the United States shared a draft peace plan calling for replacing Afghanistan's government with a power-sharing interim administration pending elections under a new constitution. South Korean e-commerce giant Coupang listed its shares on the New York Stock Exchange on Thursday, making a multi-billionaire out of its founder, Bom Kim. Shares in the company surged when they began trading, valuing the Harvard Business School dropout stake at more than $8.6 billion. Coupang's U.S. listing is the biggest by an Asian company since Alibaba in 2014. While it's still loss-making, revenue almost doubled last year as the pandemic boosted online shopping. And before we conclude the bulletin of world news, the headlines once again. AstraZeneca further cuts European Union vaccine supply target. Turkey plans to host Afghan peace talks in April. Harvard dropout rockets into mega billionaires club. And that ends world news. On to development news. Maxon's Tower by Maxon's Developers was recently launched in the city of Colombo, signifying the first mixed development project by Maxon's Holdings. Situated at number 12 Alfred House Gardens, Colombo 3, the property offers retail and office space with ample parking, thereby providing all required facilities at a convenient location. Maxon's Tower consists of 19 levels, which is a total area of 100,000 square feet, and 70,000 square feet out of that is rentable space. That was development news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Nivea along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB. Development News was brought to you by Nivea along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB.
And sports news, and in sailing, Team New Zealand rallied superbly to level the America's Cup match at 2-2 today after challenger Luna Rossa took the honours in the early race in light winds off the coast of Auckland. Fast stars again proved decisive today, with Luna Rossa winning the opener by 37 seconds before defender TNZ hit back with a 63-second victory, the most dominant margin of the best of 13 series so far. Tennis news, losing the best three players of all time would be a massive blow to any sport, but ATP chief Andrea Gaudenzi says tennis is strong enough to thrive after Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic hang up their rackets. Federer returned to the court this week after 14 months on the sidelines, and Nadal and Djokovic are going nowhere soon, but they are all well past the age of 30, and the ATP will eventually have to put on tournaments without them. Olympic news. Olympics Minister Tamayo Marukawa said today that Japanese athletes at the Summer Olympics will not be eligible for coronavirus vaccinations offered by China since Japan has not approved the vaccines. The International Olympic Committee said yesterday that Chinese Olympic Committee offered vaccine doses for participants of this year's Tokyo Olympics and the Beijing 2022 Winter Games. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Sri Lankan-born businessman Benedict Sirimana, who leads California-based CSDS aircraft sales and leasing, is planning to commence international charter flight operations from Sri Lanka under the Air Colombo brand. Mr. Sirimana has filed an application with the Sri Lanka Civil Aviation Authority recently to obtain air operator certificate and airline license to engage in international charter operations carrying cargo, mail and private operations in compliance with the Civil Aviation Act and regulations. That was business news.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Despite the emergence of the second wave of COVID-19, Colombo's residential real estate market saw the sales growth momentum begin in the third quarter, persisting throughout the fourth quarter of last year. It has been backed by increasing investor confidence and the ease of buying, with developers prioritizing sales over price. Jones Lang LaSalle, in its latest Colombo Property Market Monitor, highlighted that the residential vacancy rate remained unchanged during the period since the beginning of the second wave of COVID-19 in early October. That was economic news.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
In the weather report, the Met Department says a few showers will occur in the eastern and in the Ua provinces and in the Nuwara, Matale, Polonnaruwa and Hambantota districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in Sabragama, western and northwestern provinces and in the Galle, Matara and Kandy districts. Fairly heavy falls, above 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places in these areas. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central, Sabragama, Ua and western provinces during the morning. Before we conclude this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The Prime Minister examines the progress of rural housing projects. The Treasury Secretary says no loss has occurred when importing sugar. Remaining 22 volumes of the Easter Sunday Presidential Report sent to the Attorney General. Public opinions will be obtained on the new national trade policy. News overseas, AstraZeneca further cuts European Union vaccine supply target. Sports, sailing, Team New Zealand storms back to level America's Cup at 2-2. That's the end of this news broadcast, and back to Victor Raj on the other side.